What's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Rapaholics. It's titled "Breakdown of Kendrick's Not Like Us" music video. So I already reacted to this music video on my Patreon. It's up right now. Link down below if you're interested. But yeah, I already gave my breakdown of the video when I watched it once, and then we continue to discuss it over on Patreon in the comments. I love the comment section over there, by the way. Shout out to all my patrons, all right? But yeah, we were just throwing ideas out there, and people would just point stuff out, doing further breakdowns, and I was like, oh shit, that's what that means. Like, that's wild. So definitely interested in hearing what he has to say about this video or whatever. But aside from me being a Kendrick fan, this is just so much fun. Like, being able to break down, visuals that we get, and, trying to understand these bars and what they're trying to convey, and deciphering these double and triple entendres. Like, this has brought so much fun back into rap for me personally, and I'm sure a lot of other people. So it's just really, cool to get all of this material from this beef, mainly from Kendrick, though. I'm not gonna lie and say Drake is giving us a lot to break down because he just hasn't, but Kendrick has given us lots of material to discuss and pick apart and try to understand further. So yeah, I'm enjoying this still Anyway, let's see what he says about this video that let's watch.
Guys, Kendrick Lamar just dropped one of the craziest music videos of all time with so many subliminal sneak disses aimed at Drake. And we're about to break them all down, but if you guys didn't know, Not Like Us is the record Kendrick just dropped a music video for. It is the #1 song in the country and absolutely put the nail in Drake's coffin, calling him a PDF file, a colonizer, and having the entire world chanting OVO. Apparently there's a remix to the record on the way, so stay tuned for that as well. But he just dropped the music video for the record, and this was one of the most hyped up music videos of all time.
Adonis.
Immediately breaking the YouTube record for the most views for a video in a single hour, with 1.3 million views in less than 60 minutes, which already has DJ Academics questioning if Kendrick is paying for views.
Oh my God.
There were so many nuances riddled within this video that completely shut down any allegation Drake made towards Kendrick, while also cleverly sneak dissing Drake throughout the entire.
Why Drake didn't buy those same bots then? If they doing all this work for Kendrick, why they ain't do it for Drake then? He needs to get his bots from a different dealer then, if that's the case. I'm tired of this conversation.
Video and ultimately showing Drake he is not like us. He is not in the same league as Kendrick. Now, the video was directed by Dave Free, which is Kendrick's business partner from day one, and Dave Free also makes an appearance within the music video. Now, why this is so substantial is because in Drake's diss tracks against Kendrick, he was claiming that Kendrick's fiance Whitney was having an affair with Dave Free, and that they actually have a child together, that the son of Kendrick is actually Dave Free's son. And Kendrick said the whole time, don't tell any lies about me and I won't tell truths about you. And this video quickly disproves this lie that Drake made, as Dave Free is appearing numerous times throughout the video and even directed the thing, showing that there's no issues between him and Kendrick like Drake had alleged. There's some other crazy rumors that Drake made that are also quickly put to rest within this video, but we'll get to that later on. See, the video starts off with a snippet of a brand new song by Kendrick, basically teasing that he has new music very soon on the way. In the snippet, he raps, "Reincarnated, I'm a stargazer, life goes on, I need all my babies, woke up looking for the broccoli, high key, keep a horn on me, that Kamazi, IP, the ownership, the blueprint is by me, Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet." Now, it's going to take some time to dissect these lyrics, but off the bat, when he says, IP, the ownership, the blueprint is by me, that's in direct reference to Drake's claims that Kendrick does not own the profits of his music, as he claimed on his diss track Push-Ups that Top Dog, the owner of the record label that Kendrick is signed to, basically takes 50% of the profits of Kendrick's music. Kendrick is saying that now he's a free agent with his own record label, PG Lang, and so the ownership is completely by him.
This is what I pointed out too when Drake, made that dig about Kendrick, like, oh, yo split is da-da-da. I'm like, aren't these past problems that he had? Like, I remember years ago, he came out and released a statement about why, his music was taking so long, because he was having label issues and, like, split issues or whatever. But that was so many years ago. So I'm just like, he bringing this up now? I'm pretty sure Kendrick has resolved that. And he did.
As well as the IP.
Because even in the announcement he made, the statement that he released, it was basically implying that, okay, he's no longer having issues, so he can move forward, and basically he has ownership of his own music. So I'm like, That was just odd for Drake to, like, speak on that.
Property. He also says, I get off at my feet, which is another reference to Drake's diss where he says, how are you big stepping with a size 7 men's arm? Basically making fun of Kendrick for having small feet. Kendrick flips that here by basically saying, I get off in mop feet, which basically means he's sweeping Drake up off his feet. He's destroying him. He made the same reference in Euphoria where he said, Pusha T is Terrence Thornton and Kendrick is Terrence Crawford and he's whooping feet. Now, it's also important to know that even the release date of this music video was super calculated, as Kendrick released it on July 4th, which is America's Independence Day. He also did his pop-out legendary West Coast concert on Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the day that commemorates the day when the final 250,000 slaves left in America were officially declared their freedom. Now, these dates are crazy considering all of Kendrick's diss songs have been aimed at saying that Drake, a Canadian, is a colonizer of African-American culture and has no true identity of his own. Now, the video starts off with Kendrick in a room surrounded by a bunch of dancers from Los Angeles, with each one of them wearing red and blue flags.
I got so hyped when she got up and started walking.
That had the colors red, blue, and white on them. Again, referencing the colors of the American national flag, and the blue and red rags signifying the unity that Kendrick is bringing to gang members within his city. The scene that follows that depicts Kendrick in a black room with dim white lights, which is an exact recreation of the second part of Drake's Family Matters music video, where he's driving to go have the van from the Good Kid, Mad City album cover smashed. In that scene, there's also a man wearing a black shiesty mask, which is the same look that Drake rocks in the Dark Lane demo tapes album cover. In the video, that man tries to jump at Kendrick.
Fuck, I should have said this when I was watching it, because I definitely initially thought, like, oh, is this supposed to be Drake running up on him? But I'm like, no, he got a ski mask on. Not a ski mask, but sure, mask. Because the ski mask is the one with the holes. Or anyway, he got a mask on, so I'm just like, that don't make sense that would be Drake. But I forgot about this goddamn cover. What was Drake doing with this cover? Child. Oh, that makes sense.
And he quickly gets...
This nigga look like Cinch. This is like Central C. Not Central C working with Kendrick too. Oh, Drake's. It's our turn to get them. This is Cinch, bro.
Blasted away. Now, there's multiple cameos in this music video that play strong significance. One of the most significant is the appearance by DeMar DeRozan, who's an NBA basketball player who was once on the Toronto Raptors and got traded for Kawhi Leonard. He's an LA native, and Kendrick actually rapped on the Not Like Us record saying, I'm glad D-Rose came home, you guys didn't deserve him either. Again, every scene in this video is super, super calculated. This is followed up by Kendrick in a scene that looks to be a prison, where he's just doing push-ups. This is in reference to Drake's diss record, Push-Ups, where he raps, Top told you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups. Now, this diss was in reference to the viral video of Kendrick
that little
in the backyard doing push-ups to some old school
And then he did a little...
And Drake is saying, Top Dog, the owner of the record label that Kendrick is signed to, is telling Kendrick to drop and give him 50 like push-ups, meaning that Top Dog is telling Kendrick to give him 50% of the profits of his music, similar to how someone would tell you to drop and give him 50 like you're doing push-ups. So Kendrick is just absolutely trolling Drake to the highest degree throughout this entire video. He proceeds to beat up an owl piñata, and on the screen there's a disclaimer saying no OV hoes were harmed in the making of this. Now, this scene has several different meanings. Obviously, the piñata being an owl is in reference to the fact that Drake's OVO logo is an owl. It's also the fact that piñatas are famously known for being an activity at a kid's birthday party, and Kendrick throughout all of these disses is accusing Drake of being into younger women. And an owl is also a predator animal, meaning that it gets its food from other animals. And Kendrick, again, is calling Drake a predator throughout this entire record.
Who needs to be in a
cage. When Drake was asking Kendrick for quadruple entendres and lines that have like 4 different meanings, I don't think he was expecting Kendrick to not only come with diss records that had bars that had multiple meanings, but also music videos that had layers and layers of meanings to each scene. It's insane. Then when the famous A minor line plays throughout the video, Kendrick is depicted doing hopscotch, which is another kid's activity. Again, Kendrick is accusing Drake throughout this entire record of being into little kids, and is shown in the video doing.
You can't even do it right though. You gotta open your legs right here.
This entire record.
The 4 and 5. I wanna play.
Of being into little kids, and is shown in the video doing little kid activities. What's also substantial here is on the hopscotch, there were the letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And on this record, Kendrick rapped, "How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5." Meaning that Kendrick dropped 5 diss records against Drake, but he also had another 5 in the
So Drake, you shut your ass up.
So as that famous A minor line plays, Kendrick is doing hopscotch all the way up to the number 10. Again, trolling Drake for the fact that he has 10 diss records to drop on Drake if Drake decides to re-engage within this beef. Other notable appearances include a scene with his entire record label, everyone from Absol, J-Rock, Punch, and Top Dog from TDE, showing you that these are all his day ones, and completely discrediting any claims that Drake made that his record label was exploiting him, or that he had splits with any of the guys that he was associated with business-wise. Another scene shows Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free dancing in front of a bunch of shipping containers, and this could be alluding to the containers that are used to traffic humans, which is again in reference to the disses that
I said this on Patreon again because somebody asked, like, what y'all think these crates mean? And I'm like, bro, I was thinking that, is he trying to say that Drake is trafficking children? But I'm like, nah, ain't no way. Like, that's too dark. It's one thing to be a PDF file. I mean, that's horrible within itself. But to traffic children on top of that, like, you are just at a different level of evil. But then I was like, maybe he is trying to say that because he did say that Drake is a sick man with sick thoughts and he think he should die. That's what he said. If you think a nigga should die, like those are strong words. But maybe it's in response to a strong crime. Trafficking. Children specifically. And I recognize these fucking crates, okay? I see them all the time on Law and Order, SVU. Alright, hella episodes with people getting trafficked in these goddamn crates.
That Kendrick aimed at Drake, where even Drake said he knew that Kendrick would take the Jeffrey Epstein angle against him. Where, if you guys didn't know, Jeffrey Epstein is notorious for being one of the most disgusting human traffickers of all time. There's another scene in front of the Compton courthouse where Kendrick is singing with thousands of people behind him, showing that he most definitely gets more love in his own city than Drake gets. And one of the final, most scathing scenes within this video is when Kendrick is standing next to his fiance and 2 children, which completely shuts down any rumors that Drake made that Kendrick was having any sort of marital issues with his fiance. Drake claimed that Kendrick abused her, Drake claimed that they were no longer together, and he even claimed that the worst, that Kendrick's son was actually the son of his manager's Dave Free, that Kendrick's fiance Whitney was having an affair with Kendrick's manager. You can tell by seeing Kendrick and his son face to face that they are most definitely related, that that child is definitely Kendrick's. I mean, just look at the ears. You could tell. And Whitney is dancing as Kendrick is rapping OV Ho and he a fan, showing that she's in on this, that there's no issues between them, and that everything Drake said was fabricated, was a lie, and that all of the disses he threw at Kendrick really had no substance to them. The most scathing scene of this entire video for Drake must be when Whitney is crip walking to the outro of the record. The last scene of the video is Kendrick staring at a cage with an animal inside of it. And at first glance, you can't tell if that animal is a rat or what it is. But eventually, as Kendrick steps away, you realize that it's an owl, which again is in reference to Drake, and the fact that an owl is a predator animal. Now, Drake fans or DJ academics could say whatever they want. They could say that Kendrick is riding off the hype of this song, and that Kendrick fans only eat when he's dissing Drake, and that he doesn't release any other music. But he's showing you otherwise. He's premiering new music within this video and showing you that this is an entire troll against Drake. And by hopscotching to the numbers 1 to 10, he's showing you that he has many more diss tracks in stock in case Drake ever decides to step back into this beef. I also forgot to mention that DJ Mustard, the producer of the record, is seen in the video wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat.
And speaking of, somebody else pointed that out on Patreon too. Shout out to you. Because I'm like, I don't know team, so I missed that. But apparently people have noticed that there's like a date on Kendrick's jacket, or people thought it was a date. People like, oh, looks like it says 8/8/2024. All right, so people like, oh, maybe that's when he gonna drop his album. We about to get some new music. So I'm like, oh shit, he about to drop next month. I look deeper into it, and apparently that doesn't say 8/8/2024 at all, unfortunately. It says SS/2024. This is like a Jamaican brand. So this might be a further diss at Drake, you know, trying to say, oh, you be having this fake ass Jamaican accent. This is another example of you trying to leech off different cultures. You leech off the Jamaican culture, the American culture, you a leech. So maybe that's what he was trying to convey with wearing this jacket. Or maybe it's a double meaning. Maybe it's that, and on top of that, he is going to drop something next month. You know? Because he knew that from afar, people would think that it looks like 8/8/2024. So maybe we get some music next month. Maybe not. I don't know.
Claims was not an intentional diss at Drake because he got a bunch of different hats customized and he just happened to wear the Blue Jays hat on that day. But obviously, even if it wasn't intentional, Drake is from Toronto, and the producer of this massive record wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat in the video that's directly trolling you for 5 minutes straight just stings incredibly hard, whether it was intentional or not. So all in all, this was just an incredible performance by Kendrick. He put tons of rumors to rest, whether it was the fact that he was split up from his former peers and record label, whether it was the fact that his manager was having an affair with his wife, whether it was the fact that he was even with his wife still or not. He was uniting his city on America's Independence Day, showing that he has deep ties to his culture and his city and is doing his best to unify his people and bring peace and pride to them. He's also playing Drake's game as best as he could by trolling Drake with multiple subliminal disses throughout this entire video, creating memes that'll last forever and doing exactly what Drake should have done when he dropped back-to-back against Meek Mill. Like, imagine a back-to-back music video with a Nicki Minaj lookalike.
Nigga, you fumble. So all his fans be like, oh, Kendrick doing so much. How you gonna make a video to a diss track? Because it's such a massive hit. It went #1 on Billboard. Like, stop playing. Like, why wouldn't he? Hello? Drake missed his opportunity. Maybe his diss track would have charted higher if he had a music video to go along with back-to-back. So he fumbled that.
Where Drake was just trolling Meek for an entire 3 minutes straight. Kendrick is playing the game right, putting all the rumors to rest, and making this song even more important than it was. Not only being a victory lap, the rumors to rest, and making...
Oh, Draco's taller. 6,000.
This song even more important than it was. Not only being a victory lap for Kendrick throughout this entire beef, but also being a staple and a sense of pride for his entire community by unifying the West Coast, bringing this video back to his hometown and celebrating the essence of what the West Coast is known and loved for. So what do you think Drake's next move should be? Should he just ignore this?
I think Drake should shut the fuck up, sit down, okay, and be quiet. That's what I think. I think he's just gonna make it worse for himself if he drops anything. But we will see what happens. I'm very excited to see what takes place. I'm very excited for new music. That snippet at the beginning of this music video was sounding real nice. So, you know, he could at least give us that. But I do feel like Kendrick is turning a new leaf. I feel like this has revitalized his love for rapping, you know, and I feel like he is going to give us more music, because that's like a big critique from, you know, the Angels, Aubrey's Angels, is that he don't even drop like that. He going to disappear on y'all for some years, so enjoy this while you can, blah, blah, blah. That's their main go-to. I ain't got shit else to say. But I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like Kendrick is going to continue to drop. Obviously not as frequent as like somebody like Drake, who always in our goddamn face. But, you know, I think he's going to be more consistent for sure, especially with all the love he's getting. Why wouldn't he capitalize off of this? Doesn't make any sense not to. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!